The tropical rainforests are the richest natural regions on Earth. They cover just a small fraction of the planet's surface, but they're home to at least half of all living species. It's estimated that as many as 5 million different kinds of plant, animal and insect live in the forests. Since prehistoric times, the tropical rainforests have been part of the world's climate's natural balance. They catch and recycle water to prevent flooding and drought. But after millions of years, everything has suddenly changed. The rainforests are being burned, bulldozed and hacked off the face of the earth. The destruction clears the way for anything from mining to cattle grazing. Each minute, more than 100 acres are wiped out, forcing as many as 50 species of life into extinction every day. At this rate, all the rainforests could have disappeared by the middle of the next century or sooner.
I can see the flames of extinction coming for me.
March 1989 in London, and several figures from the music world have gathered to make a record aimed at raising global awareness about the rainforests.
I think that's it.
That's it.
Burning, burning, feeling inside me, inside me, inside me.
Over a 6-month period, more than 70 acts are being brought together.
I can see 1,000 chainsaws coming for me.
A million chainsaws. Shit, yes, million chainsaws, a zillion chainsaws coming for me. Yes, awfully sorry, darlings. Let's get on to the one.
I hear the cry of the Yanomami.
I'm from rural Michigan, and we had a lot of beautiful trees there. In fact, a lot more when I was a boy than when I've been home recently. And that upsets me. When I was in my first band, the Stooges, the way I used to get my ideas, the way I used to blow off steam as I was a young person just trying to figure out what to do with myself in life, find my own identity, was to walk around in the outdoors. And I love nature. And I think that it's rapidly getting lost to us, and I think we're losing access to it, so it's just something I feel.
I hear the cry of the Yanomami.
Was that a good take?
Was that a take?
If it was a take.
We weren't ready, were we? We weren't ready. I wasn't ready.
That's when you're not ready.
I was ready, but Joey wasn't ready. Joey screwed it up.
A much larger question of overall pollution and environmental issues that it seems like it's rather a good idea to do something about, because I don't think however green Maggie gets that she actually really means it, and that she's going to do much about it without other people putting their oar in and doing something about it themselves.
Up from the canopy, I can see.
Well, the rainforest is spotlighted now for total destruction by, the expansion of and development of South American industry, I suppose. And I mean, it's totally understandable. And who are we, or who am I to say that they shouldn't take advantage of their resources and develop their lands or whatever after we've totally destroyed ours? I mean, who are we to say? But when you look at the total picture of the planet and what we have and how we're supposed to survive, it's essential that it remains intact.
tell me what brings your good self to these studios today?
Yeah, Vic asked me would I come and perform on this album we're doing for the rainforest, try and save it for Christ's sake, because they're burning it all up. And I said, yeah, real simple. And I think we should support this cause, you know, because we need the trees to breathe.
Just give us a level. Just give us a level then for the next run. A cappella.
I hear the cry of the Yanomami. I hear the cry of the Yanomami.
That's good. Good distance.
Well, they can buy records like this and generally make their voices heard in order to put pressure onto our government and every other government whose primary responsibility it is to do something about it.
Oh, it's the fault of them people, mate. It's them folks, mate. They and them what does it. The animals is all right. I trusts them. Well, it's obviously it's lack of responsibility. I think severe lack of responsibility, and you know, do what you like and leave it to your kids to mop up. So I think we've got to change that, haven't we? I don't want my kids mopping up my droppings.
Would I like to sing on this song, which is about the forests being raped. Very silly of mankind to do it to itself, really.
Up from the canopy, I can see 1,000 chainsaws coming for me. Millions of years, this has been my home. Turn around, it's soon they'll be gone.
What you say the rainforest is put makeup on the Indians. That will do it. If the Indians all look like industrial capitalists, then the people in the countries won't want to chop down the trees because they'll be afraid that the people in the forest are too pretty. But they see in the forest, they see, you know, they see the natives and say these people are antiquated. Just because they live by their spirit, they don't live by the dollar, so they ignore them because of corporate greed. So what must we do to ensure that our rainforest remains standing? We have to communicate to the governments of these countries. We have to enforce our reological, ideological, conceptual values upon them. We must make them realize, we must emphasize, we must communicate, we must enunciate, we must stop them from raping the forest.
A love song.
Okay.
Writing you a love letter with the radio on. Radio. Isn't that wonderful?
Audio ready. As soon as you're ready. We're ready in here. Crew ready?
Go when you're ready.
Okay, good. Here comes.
Jamais vão quebrar o espírito das matas, jamais vão cortar o coração da árvore da vida.
Eu não sei te dizer qual é. Eu acho que deveria haver uma preocupação geral, né? Porque eu acho que é exatamente a possibilidade que a gente tem de preservar uma coisa nossa, brasileira, porque os índios são brasileiros, nós não somos, nós chegamos depois. Quer dizer, se existe uma cultura brasileira, se existe uma civilização brasileira, é essa. Quer dizer, e na medida em que você se distancia disso, você se distancia da sua própria raiz, né? Eu acho que devia ser obrigatório, entendeu? A gente aprender mais sobre os índios e sobre a maneira deles viverem, a medicina dos índios, né? Tudo isso que a gente não sabe. A gente ouve falar assim, mas de uma forma muito folclórica, né?
Todas essas atividades que a gente está tentando fazer, músicas, shows e tudo, eu acho super genial. A gente precisa mesmo disso. Agora, a gente tem que ficar atento, né? A gente que está morando aqui, ou que tem filhos, Então, essa moçadinha agora que está começando a vida, né, é deles o planeta, né? Então, eu como mãe, eu tenho uma preocupação muito grande em fazer com que essas crianças já cresçam regando a plantinha, sabe? Não matando o animal. E aqui no Brasil é muito grande, esse país é enorme, graças a Deus, é maravilhoso. Então, assim, o que eu quero mesmo é despertar na criançada essa preservação, né? Que eu acho que é natural deles, né, da criança. Você já observou? Já.
No, they only do once.
So the first one.
They'll never break the spirit of the forest.
Just the environment generally, I have been for a long while, you know. I think a lot of people are their generation and younger. But at least they're becoming aware of it. I mean, even in this country, they're becoming aware of it. The government's becoming aware of it. I suppose they've got to, under pressure, to just keep the pressure up. That's the main thing.
The interesting thing is that in the 60s, you know, people were doing whatever they were doing. They didn't really look at, you know, it was today live, tomorrow die, probably. It was a better philosophy. But you have these musicians and these rockers and people now that are into living 10 years down the road and making music 10 years down the road. And that's what you see here. And that's why every organization, every charity, every event that goes on, you have this real influx of all these musicians and artists and people getting together, because life is what it's about, and that's what this is about.
Here we come.
It's just great to be part of something. It's one of the few, in fact, the only thing I've actually tried to do something about, want to do something about, more than anything else. There are 1,000,001 causes, but much like the gentleman just said on the last interview, this is really of paramount importance. I can't think of anything that is more important. You know, it's absolutely a global situation where it transcends anything, you know, horrible things, cancer cures and this, that and the other, but it really becomes academic when there's no planet to pursue things like that on.
Greed does it. People don't give a shit. And,
They're not aware.
They don't. No, they're aware. They don't care.
A lot of them are not aware.
I mean, the major industry could care less.
There has to be a catastrophe first before anybody really does anything.
Less than half the original area of world rainforest now remains, and it's not only the wildlife which is threatened. Millions of people live in and around the endangered areas. They rely on the forests for food, shelter and medicines. Because of the deforestation, tribal societies which have inhabited the rainforest for thousands of years face cultural extinction.
One more tall fellow here.
But the tall fella's got the back, as they say. Tall fella's got the back.
They'll never break the spirit of the forest. They'll never cut the heart from the tree of life.
Well, you know the facts. I mean, the facts are an acre a second zoning, something like that. I think people are beginning to understand that we can't destroy the supply of oxygen at the rate we are doing it, especially in places like Brazil, where we're tearing down the trees to have cattle herding for McDonald's hamburgers. I mean, that's really a rather bizarre sense of priority.
It's like peeling the skin off the earth is what it is. You know, I've always had this, this image of a painting that I wanted to do, which was like cross-section. And it's a cross-section of the planet, and you see the trees around the edge, and you see the branches underneath. But when you start to cut it off, you see the sky lifting off of the planet. and the planet losing life on one side. So it's like that the trees themselves are the zipper between the sky and the earth itself. And without the trees, the sky disappears, you know, in a sense.
Thousands of acres up in smoke every day. Millions of species fading away.
I'm personally involved because I enjoy having redheads put on makeup. Other than that, I feel as a member of this planet society ecosystem, I feel that I have a vital responsibility to communicate how important it is to save the rainforest. The rainforest, once that goes, forget it. I mean, you know, forget it. Any biology student knows. After you learn prophase, metaphase, telophase, anaphase, after you learn double helix, after you learn ribosome, all that stuff, mitochondria, you learn that the rainforests are very important for, you know, recycling the oxygen, and plus they're so beautiful. Bottom line, forget the science stuff. It's beautiful, man. Look at the pictures. Think of the movies that couldn't be made. The Emerald Forest, that would be called what? The Emerald Desert? It would never play.
Está acontecendo na nossa área de Yanomami e falando dos garimpeiros. Entraram muitos garimpeiros na nossa área e destruindo a nossa floresta e a nossa cultura também. E morrendo muitos meus parentes. E os garimpeiros trazendo muitas doenças que não conhecem, sofrendo muitos parentes agora. E também foi ameaçado, os garimpeiros mataram meus parentes de arma de fogo. Nós índios nunca esperávamos que os garimpeiros faziam com nós. Agora nós estamos sofrendo. E o que a gente usa lá, nosso rio, o índio bebe lá, estão poluídos, o rio, a carapé, e a caça estão ficando difícil, e a peixe estão contaminado. E também nós estamos assim, passando muita dificuldade. Agora nós precisamos de remédio, porque os garimpeiros que levaram a doença daqui da cidade, e os bagés não conseguem mais enfrentar, porque essa doença é diferente da floresta. A doença da floresta é fácil para curar os bagés.
We're killing life, you know, we're committing murder and we're getting away with it. There's so many, like, medical things, herbs, plants going undiscovered that we don't even know what it could do, what it could cure. We're just, you know, there's a saying that says you pull out a blade of grass on one side of the world and on the other side of the world it cries, you know? We're completely destroying the balance of this planet. We think that we can get away with it, you know? I mean, it didn't snow all year in Manhattan this year. It snowed in Malibu, but it didn't snow in Manhattan. You know, what are we doing?
It's beyond being a crime. I mean, it's genocide, it's suicide. It's suicide to mankind.
They'll never break the spirit of the forest. They'll never cut the heart from the tree of life. They'll never break the spirit of the forest. Oh.
We don't share any kind of relationship or respect for the earth like the Indians in South America, who are horrified by what's being done to their land. The Indians in North America have always been horrified about what's been done to their land and continue to be as the strip mining comes in and takes away the very soul of the earth. So it's an awareness that we don't seem to think even as far as the next generation, much less 10 generations down the line. And I think that that's something that the native North Americans, Indians, and South American Indians seem to have that inbred in their culture.
a little bit ashamed about it because it's in my country, and all these times and during all the last 3 years, 4 years, what we know, we feel that the Brazilian authorities never cared. You know, they never paid the real attention that the rainforest needs.
Big business companies are one of the main problems that we're up against, because where there's money, there's power. People don't want to give up their power and give up their money. They have stockholders to answer to. They have, you know, and I understand that. I'm in business. I understand that people want to make money, but they just see that and they don't see the long-term effects it's having on the world. And while we're killing off all thousands of species in the world, we're going to be the species that's on the way out probably the fastest. That's the ironic thing of this whole thing. Until we get to those people and say, look, you may have to reduce your profits by, 20%. I don't know how we're going to do this. This is the hardest thing, because with money there's resistance, and a lot of and greed is a big problem in the world.
They'll never break the spirit of the forest. Whoa,
It's very easy to point the finger and hate people. It's very easy to say, oh, well, these evil people making this industry, making money. I mean, people deal with the resources that they're given in wherever they live. And if what they have to offer is wood, then that's how they're going to make their living. And what we have to do is find a way that they can continue to thrive economically in certain areas without destroying what we all need.
I think what's most important right now is a fundamental philosophical change in the way we think. The short-term political struggles that are going on all around the world, whether it's struggle for nationalism, struggle for more democracy, struggle against racism, more equitable distribution of wealth, all those political struggles are ultimately superficial and temporary, unless there is truly a revolution in the way we think. In other words, we must now look in the mirror individually and say that it's time that we realize that we are only one part of this planet. We are not separate from it. We're not superior to it. Not only are all human beings equal, but we are in fact equal to everything on this planet.
Man doesn't like to acknowledge the fact that anything has a right to the planet as much as he does, or she does. But these creatures are holding information for millions and millions of years. If we wipe them out, we're playing God.
I think basically we've approached a situation in time where we're just realizing what we've done and what we are doing. I mean, I don't think anybody should feel guilty, and I don't think anybody should feel holy and sanctimonious about it. I think the whole lot of us, we've all just been beavering away as human beings, and now we're finding out that there's lots of things we've been doing are very harmful.
Well, it's nice to have an opportunity to try to kick something back and do something good besides have your videos be all over TV, I mean, it's rare that you get to use whatever power you may have to do something positive. So of all the causes, this is probably the most urgent. Although there are a lot of vital issues around today, they sort of pale when you consider that you can't solve them if everyone's dead. So I guess preservation of the species comes before everything else.
Jamais vão quebrar o espírito das matas, jamais vão cortar o coração da árvore da vida, Machico, macuxi, cavaé, pataxó, loró, ticuna,
Turn around before it's too